So in my opinion, I think there's been some unique news when it comes to Zebec as of late. The reason why is because Zebec recently announced that the Alio card is live. Now, nothing I say is financial advice. However, what is Alio, right? Alio is supposedly this layer 1 blockchain that has a very strong emphasis when it comes to privacy. And unlike some other projects out there that, kind of started off with not this focus and then they kind of added it later on, that doesn't seem to be the case when it comes to Alio. Alio seems to be one that's built from the ground up to be really focused on something like that. So it's a little bit different, right? Some other projects out there, they kind of added it later on. But when it comes to Alio, supposedly it was built that way from the start. So I think this right here kind of indicates Zebec's sort of side quest, right? Or should I say it's sort of foray into the privacy side of things, because we already know about Zebec being focused on payrolls and all this. We already know about Zebec's focus when it comes to RWAs, but when it comes to things regarding privacy, that adds another sort of layer when it comes to Zebec. So I do believe that Zebec is very diverse, right? In a sense where, it's focused on a lot of things, which not a lot of other projects can do, by the way. Sometimes, trying to juggle too many things at once, it's kind of difficult, arguably, according to some people, when it comes to some projects. But when it comes to Zebec, they seem to, I think, be able to manage a lot of things at once, which we'll wait and see if they can actually maintain it in the long term, because they do have like a team that's only over 25 team members, so it's not that massive, right, arguably, comparatively to some other projects out there. So we'll see if they can maintain this sort of pace, basically. But if they could, 2 thumbs up for me right there. I think that's actually really awesome. But yeah, besides that point though, when it comes to being focused on privacy, it hasn't really become a niche that has achieved sort of mainstream popularity as of late, because as it was kind of, gaining some sort of traction, then we saw the altcoin space have a pullback, right? So we never really saw projects that really have an aspect of privacy truly shine that way when it comes to this space. But who knows? We'll wait and see, right? If there's a hypothetical altcoin season, sometimes things could be different. So yeah, I just think it's a pretty cool venture when it comes to Zebec. And Zebec is kind of like that one player that keeps doing a side quest. I mean, it's pretty cool. But as long as they can still complete the main story and still do the side quests, why not? That's the way to take a look at it. So yes, ZBCN still around, what is this, like around 50 times lower than 10 cents? Yeah, it's still not doing the best, but at the same time, if they're doing things, why not? That's the way you take a look at it. Why is it so bad? I do think it's pretty cool, because keep in mind, when it comes to Zebec, they say coming soon, they're going to be doing something in partnership with Paxos Labs, right? Which is powered by Alio. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, at least they're planning things to hypothetically maybe come soon. So yeah, when it comes to Zebec, it's not like they're being lazy. It's not like they're not doing anything. They're still doing things. And people sometimes, I think, associate the price not doing the best or the charts going down with the fundamentals. But I don't think that when it comes to ZBCN, if it dips like 10, 20%, I don't think it became like 10 or 20% worse fundamentally. I think it's a very different case, right? In some cases, not in every single case, but in some projects, I feel like they're improving, yet the charts are going down. In which case, if I see something like that, why would I be complaining, right? I'm not going to be complaining, because if something improved, yet the charts are lower, that's like me going to Sizzler right there. Time to go to Sizzler. That's the way to take a look at it. For me, it's not about trying to enter later on when things are already sky high. I like to be dollar cost averaging, preferably at a lower point. Because, again, sure, it's not instant gratification. There's nothing that could really indicate that, maybe at this time it's going to do this or do that. There's no way, right? I might have to hold for quite a while. How long? I have no idea. Like, there's no time limit, I feel like, right? Because I can't control this space. But I'm going to be waiting regardless, whether it's a year, 2 years, 6 months, whatever. I mean, the market's going to do its thing. There's no me controlling it. There's no asking for my input. No. It's going to do whatever. So I'm going to be waiting. That's it, because I like to prepare. That's the way I take a look at it, even though clearly I am not telling anyone to do anything. But when it comes to Zebec overall, I'm a fan of what they're doing personally, because they seem to still be kind of trying to innovate. In which case, do a lot of people even think about these partnerships? Do a lot of people even think about like, oh, Zebec should do something with Alio? I don't really hear many people talking about that, right? It's not like I see thousands upon thousands of people just constantly mentioning Zebec and telling them to have a partnership with Alio. I don't see that, personally. But, they're still doing things, and they're doing things above and beyond, right? Because they're doing things that a lot of people didn't even really ask for. Can you imagine a project that's already doing pretty okay and they're like, oh, let's have a partnership with Alio? I think that right there requires a lot of mental stamina. Could you imagine the perseverance, the passion for the project? Also, on top of that, the enthusiasm. It's not that easy because when the charts are going down, a lot of developers typically they leave. They're not trying to do more. Usually they leave, right? But when it comes to Zebec, it seems like they're not leaving. They're planting their foot on the ground. They're saying that they're still going to be building. It feels like that's the vibe. So I do like that. I mean, again, if they didn't do any of this type of stuff, would I complain? Probably not. Like, I wouldn't even think about Zebec having a partnership with Alio, but, I think this is pretty cool. And I think this is, like, really contributing to the longevity of something like Zebec. I mean, sure, if Zebec did, like, a cool new sort of thing with, like, a bunch of random projects, and they just kind of kept, doing more partnerships just for the sake of it, sure, I mean, that's okay as well, I guess, in some cases, but they're actually focusing on the substance, right? On the actual value of how the partnership is perceived to be. Because I think they're focusing on high quality partnerships over the quantity, right? Some prefer the quantity, but I feel like this one prefers the quality. So I do like seeing that. Now, ultimately, though, I mean, Zebec, I don't think it's ever going to become the biggest project out there, but does it even need to? I mean, okay, it's around 50 times lower than 10 cents. Around 50 times lower than 10 cents? I mean, keep in mind, at 10 cents, the market cap would be around 9.8 billion, considering Zebec's current circulating supply. Like, the thing is, a lot of projects out there are very far away from around a 10 billion market cap, but ZBCN, it's like already sort of established itself as a arguable top 5 project within the space of global trade and finance. And also on top of that, it's already proven at a certain point that the market cap was around 500 million. That was just back in 2025. And I don't think that was even a hypothetical altcoin season. And again, 500 million, that's like slightly under 20 times lower than a 9.8 billion market cap. So if there was like a hypothetical altcoin season, is that too outlandish? I mean, again, we'll wait and see, but I'm just saying. Like, if it was able to reach around a 500 million market cap without an altcoin season, what could it do if there was an actual altcoin season? That's what I'm curious about. But would 10 cents surprise me? The answer is no, it would not surprise me. But we'll wait and see. Right? I can't control this. But I'm just saying, when it comes to Zebec, I seem to like what they're doing, and I like the team, I like the perseverance. So I'm going to continue to just wait. And that's about it. And the thing is, as well, right? Like, XLM is not around 50 times lower than a 9.8 billion market cap. It's just not. Bitcoin is not around 50 times lower than its all-time high. So, I mean, again, does ZBCN need to be the best? No, because again, we're around 50 times lower than 10 cents. Around 50 times lower. But yeah, we'll wait and see. I mean, even if it doesn't become the best, if it just even hypothetically goes to like 5 cents, I'm not going to be complaining. That's the way to take a look at it, but we'll wait and see. Ultimately, I am not telling anyone to do anything. Again, I am not a financial advisor. However, this is the way to take a look at Zebec. Yeah, in the meantime, I'm just going to still be holding, waiting, and that's about it. So hopefully, I'll see you all in the next video. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll be sure to make more updated videos when it comes to Zebec. I'm out. Peace. Bye.